I have a Carrier Infinity Comfort AC and heating system. My thermostat is slowly going out and I've checked online for a new one and the price is unbelievable. Is there a thermostat I can replace the one I have that is compatible with my system?
The Carrier Infinity thermostat is serial interface communicating thermostat. In other words, it is more or less networked to your AC and heating system like a computer system is. There will be no aftermarket brand of thermostat that will perform this way with an Infinity system. However, Carrier Infinity heating/cooling systems can be wired to a conventional control thermostat. This is called legacy mode. You would probably do best in the Honeywell 8000 or 9000 series thermostats for high-end equipment like this. But again, there is a hitch. Most communicating thermostats require only 4 wires to interface with the system. 2 24-volt power wires and 2 communication wires. If you only have 4-wire thermostat cable run between your furnace or air handler and your thermostat location, it limits you to a conventional thermostat with a 2 or 4-wire connection to an equipment interface module that has to be mounted and wired at the furnace/air handler location. Chances are these systems will be just as costly as the Carrier Infinity thermostat is. So in short, it depends on how many conductors are in the thermostat cable between the indoor unit and thermostat. If you have enough conductors for your type of system there, then you can use a conventional thermostat, but there are still low voltage wiring changes that have to be made at the outdoor AC unit and or the air handler/furnace to use your system in legacy mode. Thank you very much for the great rating. If you found that you have enough thermostat wires and want to run your system in legacy mode using a standard thermostat and you're comfortable making some low voltage wiring changes in your indoor unit/outdoor unit, just let me know and I'll be happy to assist you with the conversion as an additional services offer added to this question for a nominal added cost. Thanks again and thanks for using JustAnswer. Brian.
Thanks for all your help. I think I'm going to wing it for a while.
Very good then. Look me up if you want some assistance with your thermostat issue in the future. Thanks again, Brian.
If I was to buy a new thermostat by Carrier, which one would you recommend that won't cost an arm and leg? I see some touch screen types, but man, the cost is crazy. I am having a hard time spending over $100 for a used one and $250 for new.
Indeed. This communicating thermostat thing the manufacturers are doing seems to be for one thing and one thing only: more money. That includes service companies making more money, since you have to be highly factory trained to understand the systems and you can charge an arm and a leg. It also includes the fact that you must go with the manufacturer for parts instead of using aftermarket. I think this is the general reason all AC systems are getting more and more complicated. Plus the government keeps shoving minimum efficiency standards down our throats, and that makes the AC technology very expensive. If it were me, I'd rewire the system to legacy mode and use any aftermarket thermostat I liked. If you want to stick with a communicating thermostat, you're stuck with Carrier's Infinity Control. That's your only option. If you want to go legacy, you rewire the thermostat wires, or run a new one to the thermostat if you don't have large enough gauge or amount of conductors, at the air handler or furnace and AC unit, then buy whatever brand of conventional thermostat you want. You are not limited to Carrier when wired in the legacy mode. Even if your system is 2-stage, a decent new 2-stage thermostat can be had for $50, $75.
Thank Brian. I have found a Carrier Edge programmable thermostat control TPPRH01A for $109 that seems to fit the bill. It is brand new on eBay. Says it's compatible with my Infinity system. I was going to pull the trigger on it but wanted to see what you think.
I'm pretty familiar with the TPPRH, it's not a bad thermostat. It should indeed be compatible with your Infinity as a communicating thermostat. Wow, that's a great deal though. They are normally way more expensive.
The seller says it's brand new and they are selling on eBay. If it's not what represented, I am sending it back. There is also a newer model, but its buy now price is $199. Going for the $109 just the same. I received the new TPPRH-A thermostat, but can't get the system to come on. The thermostat lights but system won't start. I know I have it wired wrong but can't figure out where. I have 4 wires, red, white, green, yellow, coming out of the wall. Any advice on connection?
Thanks much. As long as it's new, I'm sure it'll work fine. Take care and good luck. Thanks for using JustAnswer. Brian.
Hi Brian, I received the new TPPRH-A thermostat, but can't get the system to come on. The thermo lights but system won't start. I know I have it wired wrong but can't figure out where. I have 4 wires, red, white, green, yellow, coming out of the wall. Any advice on connection?
Oh, that's unfortunate. There will be 2 power wires and 2 network wires, and likewise on both the thermostat and the air handler or furnace. There really is no set color code for the wiring, so unfortunately I can't really advise you on which is which. Instead of hit or miss, you really should open the air handler or furnace and see how they're wired there, then wire the thermostat identically. Chances are the red wire is one of the power wires, usually 24 volts hot, but the rest of them are not good. Sorry I couldn't help more.
No trouble, Brian. The new thermostat is a bit more complicated with the connections. I opened the handler and saw all the wire connections, and they are color-coded the same as the old thermostat, but difficult to match the wires with the new thermostat because other than the red, the other connections are hard to detect. I starting to think I'll give a call to the company that repaired my unit before, cause I am sure I also could use a free on charge. I'll wait until this heat wave is over.
Unless your thermostat's old or new, were or should be wired in legacy mode, there should be only 4 wires to connect, and they should be on A, B, C and D at both the thermostat and the air handler.
If they are wired differently than that, a picture of how the thermostat wires are connected at the air handler in your existing thermostat and also a picture of the terminal strip on the new thermostat would really help me guide you through to the correct wiring.
Okay. Thanks, Brian. First thing in the morning, I'll take the pics and send them. Thanks again.
Sounds good. I'll look for your reply and pics tomorrow. Brian.
Here are 5 pics of the things you wanted to see with regard to the wiring. Hope the pics are clear enough. Let me know.
Thanks for those pictures. That clears everything up. The thermostat you purchased is not a communicating type thermostat. That's why it doesn't have the ABCD terminals on it. You have the choice of returning it or rewiring the thermostat wires at your air handler to legacy mode and wiring in the new thermostat. I can help with that if you'd like. Click here for one of your pictures I've annotated with a bit of an explanation of the control board and the air handler. Since you have 7 wires in your thermostat cable at your thermostat location, you have enough wires to run your system in legacy mode.
Looked at the annotated pics. I think I can do the rewiring pretty easily with your help. One question. In legacy mode, all equipment operates the same without further rewiring? If so, let's get started.
To answer your question, well, possibly. You have what looks like 7 wires in the thermostat cable. Can you confirm that, please? Also, I will need the model numbers of both your furnace and outdoor unit to both tell you if you will lose any functionality and how to wire it in legacy mode. Also, on your furnace control board, there is a white sticker that starts with the model number HK42E. Can you give me the rest of that number, please? You're right though, it's a piece of cake to move some thermostat wires around, so I'm sure you can handle it. It's actually much more difficult for me to look up all the info so you get it right. Smile, all you need to do this is some instructions, a small slotted screwdriver and a wire stripper. Do you have a humidifier attached to your furnace that is controlled by the thermostat and furnace? So in short, I need 1. Model number of furnace, 2. Model number of outdoor unit, 3. Full model number of furnace control board, 4. Whether you have a humidifier attached to your furnace, and if so, if the existing thermostat and furnace operates it. 5. Confirmation that you have 7 wires between thermostat and furnace. If there are more than 7, let me know that too, please. With all of that, I can guide you the rest of the way home without having to call your tech out.
I'll get that info for you, and no, I don't have a humidifier on this system, but I do have a high-efficiency air filter. Also, give me a bit of time, I've got to step out for a bit. When I get back, I'll have the numbers.
Sounds good.
I don't have a humidifier on this system, but I do have a high-efficiency air filter. Here are the numbers. Outdoor unit, 38 TDB 060310 furnace, 58 CVX 110 control panel, HK42 FC 024450. I do not have a humidifier. The thermostat wire has 8 wires that go from thermostat to control panel.
That's great that you have 8 wire. That will help. Fortunately, I have an extensive carrier technical library. I will look up all the docs on your equipment tomorrow and get a plan of attack. Then I'll send you some instructions. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, Brian.
Thanks, Brian. You too. Talk to you tomorrow.
Very good then. Sorry, I'm not normally one of those guys that's always gotta have the last word. I actually have to have the last word here, otherwise I can't respond to any other customer. Till tomorrow then. Brian. LOL here? Must be some kind of Freudian slip smile. Okay, having pulled up all the docs on all your equipment, which I will share here with you later for future reference, Click here for a PDF file showing the normal and proper wiring and legacy mode between your particular thermostat, furnace and AC unit. If you look at the diagram, you will notice there are 10 wires hooked up at the thermostat. You only have 8 available, so you're going to have to make some decisions on what functionality to lose. If you choose not to have the outdoor temperature displayed at the thermostat, you will lose no functionality as compared to your existing Carrier Infinity communicating thermostat. If you want to continue to see the outdoor temperature at the thermostat, you will have to lose 2 of any combination of the 3 following functions. 1. The dehumidify function. If you are in a humid climate, you may not want to do this. 2. Two-stage thermostat control of your 2 furnace heating stages. If you choose to lose this option, you can still maintain faux 2-stage control with a dip switch setting on the furnace control board. The staging just won't be controlled by the thermostat, always preferred, but rather by the furnace control board with an algorithm for staging by demand, timing and runtime. 3. Two-stage thermostat control of your 2 air conditioning stages. If you choose to lose this option, you can still maintain faux 2-stage control with a jumper on the furnace control board. The staging just won't be controlled by the thermostat, always preferred, but rather by the furnace control board with an algorithm for staging by demand, timing and runtime. Also note, you will have to make low voltage wiring changes at your furnace and your outdoor AC unit. All power to both units should be removed before making any wiring changes to either unit. So read through all this and make your choices, then let me know how you want to proceed, and I'll mock up the drawing with my recommended wire colors for terminal connections.
The dehumidifier wiring I don't need. I don't have that unit at all. I do have the outdoor sensor hookup already, and I do want to have that, but what else can be done to not lose the other functions? I really want what I already have.
Well, actually you do have the dehumidifying option available to you on the thermostat you bought. You run a short jumper from RC to D1 on the thermostat and use D2 on the thermostat as the dehum connection to the furnace control board. Then you enable that function in the thermostat. It's a very good dehumidifying control algorithm, but again, it's all about your choice. With only 8 wires and a legacy thermostat, you are going to lose some functionality. If you don't want the dehumidify function, that frees up 1 wire for the outdoor sensor, which termination points have to be moved from the furnace control board to the thermostat to be able to see it at the thermostat. So now you have to choose another option that you can live without, in addition to losing the ability to use the thermostat's dehumidify control. Remember, whichever option you choose to lose, you still have a 2-stage system and it still operates as 2-stage. The 2 stages just aren't directly controlled by the thermostat, but instead by a control algorithm and the furnace control board. It just isn't as accurate as controlling the 2 stages directly in proportion to temperature like the thermostat does. Botany, if you want the outdoor temperature display at your thermostat, you either need to lose the heat or cool thermostat 2-stage function, leaving it to the furnace to control, or you can run a new 2-wire cable to your thermostat location for the outdoor sensor and you can have it all. Let me know what you decide and I'll mark up that control drawing accordingly and give any other pertinent instructions as well.
If I run 2 new wire from outdoor probe, then all else can be connected? Those 2 wires from the outdoor probe goes to the S1 and S2 connection on the thermo? If that's right, I can deal with the drawing, I think.
You don't really have to go all the way to the outdoor probe. You already have the 2 outdoor sensor wires at the furnace. They are connected on the furnace control board on that 2-screw terminal connector, blue and brown wires. You can just run a 2-wire cable from your furnace to your thermostat location, wire nut onto the blue and brown wires in the furnace and then to OAT and SRTN on the thermostat. They are not polarity sensitive. If you do that, you can wire up everything like the picture I sent. You even have the extra wire to use the dehume function that already lives in both your furnace and your new thermostat. Let me know about that because there's already another wiring diagram I can send you that includes the dehume function. Bear in mind there are a couple of housekeeping chores you have to do to the furnace control board to ensure two-stage control permission is given to the thermostat. You have to remove the Akersberg jumper and you also have to make sure that SW1 dip switch 2 is on. These two things tell the furnace control board that the thermostat is going to perform the heating and cooling staging.
Okay. I'll start tomorrow after work. Is there anything to be done on the outside equipment?
Yes, the AC unit outside also has a board on it similar to the furnace board.
It will have the same setup with either the ABCD terminals or R, C, Y1 and Y2.
You have to use the wires that were connected at ABCD on the furnace control but move to the new legacy locations on the furnace board and connect them the same way to the legacy connections on the board outside. So on the furnace control board there will be wires connected to Y1, Y/Y2, R and C from both the thermostat and the outdoor unit. FYI, C and 24V COM, not to be confused with 24V hot, are one and the same, regardless of which way they're labeled. FYI, C and 24V COM, not to be confused with 24V hot, are one and the same, regardless of which way they're labeled. Below are the instructions. Yes, you have to rewire the low voltage wires at the outdoor unit.
Instead of the wires going to ABCD on the outdoor unit control board, they will go to R, C, Y1 and Y2 on the same control board.
Those wires will connect to the same terminals, R, COM, C, Y1 and Y/Y2 on the furnace control board and then to the same terminals on the thermostat, along with the others from the outdoor sensor and furnace control board terminal strip as shown in the little diagram I sent you. Thank you for using JustAnswer.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now visit justanswer.com/YTHI.